Hello everybody, this is Dan from ESLVietnamZone.com, and in today's video I'm going to answer a few questions that come from one of my YouTube viewers who is Indian and is looking for an English teaching job in Vietnam. If you are an Indian and looking for an English teaching job in Vietnam, then you might have the same questions as this YouTube viewer of ESL Vietnam Zone channel has. If that is the case, then probably you will find this very useful. The message is very long one, and so here you have just the personal description part and the 6 questions with my answers. I'm an Indian pursuing a master's degree in the grammar and literature of Indian language, having completed my bachelor degree with honors earlier this year. I have had my schooling in a school where English is the medium of instruction, and have had English as my first language in primary school, secondary, as well as higher secondary school. Question number 1. As I learned from your channel and other sources over the net, the Vietnamese prefer Americans as their teachers of English. In case a non-native speaker, having received a TESOL certification, applies for a job here, what are the chances that her application would be accepted and she would find a suitable job? Short answer: you have chances if you know how to find a teaching job. To be honest with you, I've seen many Indian teachers in Vietnam. Not everybody wants to study with Indians, but there are many job opportunities for Indians here. Besides several English teachers in language centers, I met Indian tutors and many math teachers. When we talk about non-native speakers, I think it is important to specify if they are Caucasians or not. Non-native speakers who are Caucasians have a huge advantage over non-Caucasians due to their appearance. Regarding to chances to find a job, I'll give you an example. 3 weeks ago, a Romanian friend of mine just finished CELTA at Apollo Vietnam. Since then, I have been helping him to find a job, and now he has 2 teaching jobs. 2 of his friends from Ireland are still looking for a job. They couldn't find any job and now they think to leave Vietnam. I made at least one video about how to find a teaching job in Vietnam, and everybody who's interested in this topic should check it out. My advice: you have excellent educational background, therefore you should apply for big, established, famous schools, because usually they don't really care about your skin color as long as you are suitable for the job and for their needs. Maybe I should set up some kind of recruitment agency and help people find teaching jobs in Vietnam. Question number 2. Does one get a permanent job as an English teacher, or is one employed on a contractual basis? If on contractual basis, how does one extend one's contract? What are the chances for a non-native speaker of English to get a permanent job as an English teacher in Vietnam? English teachers in Vietnam sign contracts, usually 1-year-long contracts that are not registered with Vietnamese authorities. Many English teachers have a tourist visa and work illegally in Vietnam. Tourist visas are easily expendable, and this is how it is. There is an entire video on this topic on my YouTube channel, and of course many written articles on my website, ESLVietnamZone.com. My advice, come here on tourist visa, try to find a job, see how things go, and then decide if you want and can apply for another kind of visa. Big schools usually take care of these formalities. Question number 3. How does a non-native speaker of English teaching English in Vietnam get a work permit? In case it becomes mandatory for the English teachers to have a work permit, wouldn't the teachers with a tourist visa be deported? How secured is an English teaching job in Vietnam for teachers with a tourist visa? Again, I have an entire video and many written posts regarding to this topic. At this moment, ESL teachers are not deported. 99% of the ESL teachers in Vietnam don't have a work permit. If you want one, I think the school that hires you should apply for one. When working permits will be mandatory, probably tourist visas won't be extendable. Actually, working permits are mandatory and nobody is allowed to work on tourist visa. At least this is what the law says. My advice, start working on tourist visa, then try to get a working permit. Probably it is not very difficult as long as you have a job and you are here in Vietnam. Question number 4. How well are the non-native English speakers teaching in Vietnam paid? Is there a significant difference between the remuneration of a non-native speaker of English and that of a native speaker? There is a difference, but it depends on many other factors, such as the school. A school I currently work for pays the same salary for its Filipino teachers, Romanians, and native speakers of English. Your education, your experience, etc. As a general rule, if a native speaker of English gets $17, for example, a Caucasian, non-native speaker of English will get $15, and an Indian will get $12-13. But again, this is a prediction. I never ask an Indian how much money he or she earns. My advice, don't care so much about salary. You will always find better opportunities. You need time and relation to find good, well-paid jobs. Question number 5. Besides the accent issue, which, as I learned, the schools of Vietnam often consider a major problem with non-native speakers, are there any other issues non-native speakers of English face while teaching in Vietnam? As I've already said, English language is associated with Western world and with Caucasian people. That's why everybody wants to have a Caucasian teacher, preferably American, Canadian, British, or Australian. Accent, skin color, and passport are all an issue, but a fairly good accent with strong education can overcome the other two issues. Question number 6, and the last one. Which certification among TEFL, TESOL, and CELTA is considered the best for working as an English teacher in Vietnam? CELTA is considered to be the best since it is associated with Cambridge University. I do recommend CELTA, but the other certificates will be good too. There is a video on this topic on my YouTube channel and of course a blog post on eslvietnamzone.com website. Check them out. My advice: get CELTA if you can. If not, TESOL or TEFL will do just fine. If anyone else has questions regarding to teaching ESL in Vietnam, then feel free to send me an email and I'll answer them as soon as I can. That's it for today. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Talk to you next time.